Hey everyone, welcome back to Longtail University, and today is lesson 9. We are going to talk about WordPress settings and on-page SEO to improve your content. So, first of all, we want to talk about how to properly target keywords with on-page SEO and basic WordPress settings. We've talked a lot about targeting the proper keywords and how do you actually find keywords that you should be using, but now we want to specifically talk about how to put them on the page. How many times should you mention them? That sort of thing. But first of all, why is on-page SEO so important? It's a way for you to beat your competitors. You can almost always beat your competitors on at least one on-page SEO element. Often that could just be length, but it really could be anything. So these are things that do not require any external forces. You are in complete control of it all. It's on your site. You can do with it what you will. There's no link building, there's no marketing, and there's no luck. And most of all, on-page SEO really is very easy. It takes a day or two to learn, or you can at least just use our cheat sheet that we're going to give you here in a little bit. So it's in your control. You can look at what your competitors are doing, and if they're only writing 1,500 word articles, one simple thing you could do is write a 3,000 word article, and there you've beat them on at least one on-page SEO element. So there's some basic WordPress settings and other general settings on your site that you should think about. You need to fill in your site name and tagline, set your preferred URL in Google Webmaster Tools, as well as on your site, and you need to set your permalinks. So I'm going to go through, let's actually pull up the back end of WordPress and look at some of these things. So here I am, I've got WordPress pulled up, and this is just from my blog over at nichepursuits.com, just to give you an example. But one thing that I mentioned is you do want to fill in the site name and tagline. So that's just under your general settings here. Just under settings and then general. And so you can just type in your site title. You want to type in a tagline, and these can be used for SEO purposes. So your tagline, you might want to mention keywords, like I'm trying to rank for niche websites, so I put that in my tagline. But if you're doing an article about, or if your website is about hunting gear or best pocket knife, you'd probably want to put it in your tagline here. And then you also want to update your preference for www or not, and you can do that right here under the WordPress address and site address. I like to have the www. I've always done it that way, but other people do it without, so that's fine as well. Also, you want to go under your permalinks here, which again is under your settings, and then click on permalinks. And I like to do it with the post name is selected. So you can do some sort of custom structure, but I like to do it here with, so it'll be nichepursuits.com/ whatever your post name is. So that's just a couple of quick ways to do it. Now let's go back to our presentation here. Now another thing to think about is posts or pages. I recommend using posts for all your articles and then pages for stuff that might go in your menus. That would be things like your contact page, your about page, and other things like that. I'll show you some examples here. And then your reading view, you can either do a blog view or a static page on the home page, and there are some pros and cons for each, but I do want to show you how to do that. So again, let's pull up nichepursuits.com, and under your writing and reading, you can set some defaults. You can have your default post category. That's always good to choose. Under reading is where you're going to select having your latest post show on the front page or a static page. I almost always now just have my latest posts. When I'm building a bigger site, certainly a blog, I just like to have my latest post show. However, you can also do it where it's just a static page, meaning it never changes. This might come in handy for a couple of reasons that I'll mention here. So again, for a blog view, it's much more natural and user-friendly. It's generally a good user experience, but you can't target keywords with your homepage specifically. You can still target keywords like I mentioned in the site description and things like that, but you can't have a static article on your homepage. Whereas if you are using the static page, it does allow you to target a keyword with the most powerful page on your site, which is your home page. However, it isn't very natural and it could hurt you in a manual review, especially if you have affiliate links. So generally speaking, I do recommend a blog view. However, if you do have a site that is only targeting one keyword, this might be a very small site or a site that you're using for one specific example, using a static homepage might be the way to go. Now, I wanted to mention plugins that we use, and these plugins are things that do help with on-page SEO. They help run your site a little bit faster or help your site do things in a more SEO friendly way, or just help you get things done on your site. These couple of SEO plugins allow you to go through and set the meta description and meta tags and title description and other things so that when your site shows up in Google, you can have that meta description under your control. You can type that in and Google may use that. Other plugins that we use, cookies for comments. This is just a free alternative to the Akismet comment spam plugin that there is. There's Google Analytics by Yoast, but there's lots of other Google Analytics integration type plugins that you can use. W3 Total Cache. This is an image compression which helps with site speed, so I do recommend that. Revision Control. This deletes extraneous revision files, which helps site speed as well. Quick AdSense. This is an easy site-wide AdSense or other ad placement. I've used this a lot for things other than Google AdSense. Basically, if you want something like perhaps an opt-in form or other ad to show up on every page of your site, you can actually use Quick AdSense to just copy and paste that code in there and it'll show up on every page of your site. All 404 redirect to home page, 404 control that you can use, backup by Blog Vault. This is a paid plugin and is optional. Thrive Content Builder, again, that's paid and optional, and Thrive Leads, that's paid and optional. But honestly, there's so many plugins out there that if you're looking to change anything on your site and make your site do something, you can just Google for a plugin and very often can find a free alternative that you can use. So this is just a list of some of the plugins that we use. Depending on your site, there may be other plugins that you'll need to install. Now here we are to the meat of the presentation. These are the on-page SEO best practices that you're going to want to know about. So I'm going to just run through these, but this is something that hopefully you can refer back to if you ever have a question about what you should be doing for on-page SEO with your site. These are the bullet points that you want to be hitting for sure. So article content, length of article between 1,000 to 10,000 words. Most of our articles that we do are anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 words. Typically, we find that longer content tends to rank better in Google. It keeps people more engaged and gives them the valuable content that they want to read. So you do want to aim for longer content. 500-word articles just aren't going to cut it anymore. So you will also want to have your main keyword in the title and H1 tags. So I think that just makes sense, but let's go ahead and look at an example. So if I wanted to rank for best free antivirus, I would definitely want to use those keywords in my article title, of course. And so as you can see with this article that's ranking #1 in Google from PCMag.com, they are using best free antivirus in their article title. Now, of course, it includes other things, the and for 2015. You don't need to restrict your articles, but you don't need to restrict the titles of your article to just your keyword, but you want to have those in there. And then in any H1 tags, which these, sort of the bolded section of your sites, you want to have other potential keywords. So you may want to use your primarily targeted keyword, or things like antivirus test, useful features. So this particular article might start ranking for antivirus features and antivirus test, and of course their primary targeted keyword, best free antivirus. So you want to use these secondary LSI keywords as well that are sprinkled throughout your article, whether that's in your H1, H2, or bolded section of your article as well. So as we jump back to this list, that's sort of the next thing here. You want to use these secondary LSI keywords as well throughout your article. Your main keyword, you want to use it in at least one alt tag. So this is an image tag. You want to include that as well. Your keyword density really should be kept quite low. You don't want to be using it 10 or 20% of the time throughout your article. Less than 1% really is sufficient. So if you have a 1,000-word article, using the primary keyword 10 times is a lot. You want to use it less than that. So honestly, 2, 3, 4 times throughout the content of your article is just fine. You don't need to use it over and over again. That won't help you. It will actually hurt you if you use it too much. So secondary LSI keywords and other alt tags that you have can help as well. Outbound links, you definitely do want to have at least 3 to 5 highly relevant outbound links going to authoritative sites such as Wikipedia or well-known news sources. You want to make these do follow. You want to show Google that you're providing great content and have these outbound links to other websites. And then 5 to 10 internal links, if possible, to other relevant pages on your own site. You want to make those do follow. So the purpose of that, again, is to kind of have this SEO juice, if you will, flowing from one page of your site to another and all throughout your site. This helps with on-page SEO big time. Now let's talk briefly about affiliate links. You don't want to overdo it with these affiliate links. No more than 1 per 100 words, and ideally less than that, and a lot less than that in a lot of cases. You don't want to cloak your links. This is against Google's terms of service. Now there's a lot of different definitions of cloaking, but this is actually the black hat cloaking method, essentially where Google isn't able to detect where you're actually sending people. It's okay to no follow and use redirects, that's fine, but actual cloaking, you don't want to do that. But you can and should use redirects with plugins like Pretty Links, Thirsty Affiliates, and there's other redirects that you can do as well. And almost in all cases, you should just no follow these links. There's no reason to add a do follow link there. Some other important on-page factors to optimize for, these are things that can improve the time on page, that can increase scroll depth, and decrease your bounce rate. For time on site, you want to make sure you have good formatting, make it very easy to read. This might mean using a larger font, using a darker color, using black on white is usually a good way to go. Having rich media, namely videos and pictures and other things that can keep people engaged and staying on your site is a good idea. If you have long, detailed content that is still readable, and using a strong tone of voice, and we talk about how to write great content a little bit more in other lessons, but also another final thing is making all of your links open up in a new window even internal links can help out. Now, you don't have to do this 100% of the time, but I do this quite frequently because that opens up a separate window and people are still staying on the old page, which again can increase time on page. You can use teases, for example, more on this in a second and more below to get people engaged at the beginning and keep reading. And click to scroll buttons can also help increase scroll depth. Finally, to decrease bounce rate, have clickable media that takes readers to other pages. This might be category pages or other internal pages as well. And then references to highly relevant internal articles. All of this stuff really can help you beat your competitors and rank for keywords. And overall, Google really does like engagement. So I do want to just show you again a site, an example article that is doing a good job with on-page factors. So to hopefully drive all of this home, I wanted to walk through a final example to show you a site that's doing a great job of on-page SEO. So I've gone over to the wirecutter.com and I just picked a fairly random article here, one that they've written on headphones. The title of their article is Best In-Ear Headphones Under $40. So number one, they're using some great keywords in their title. You can see that they probably will rank for best in-ear headphones. They'll probably rank for headphones under $40 and best headphones under $40. So very low competition. I'm sure if you typed in best headphones under $40, that's going to have a very low keyword competition, a great long tail keyword. So they're doing a good job with the title itself. But as we come down here, we can quickly see that they're using a nice big font. It's very easy to read. And they're also doing things like see our update. They're using teasers and see below to get you to want to click on to other articles. And not just other articles, but this, if you click this, this just goes down to a lower point in the article. But also, you can see as I just scroll through this article, it's very well formatted. They've got, their pick, so they're going to get a lot of clicks high up front to get good conversion rate. But lots of media as far as pictures and links to Amazon. They've even got a table of contents, which is great. So if I'm wondering, what are the flaws and but not deal breakers, that'll take me to a lower point in the article. And they use lots of subheadings. So, and these might include LSI keywords. So keywords, build quality, customer service. These are all things that when people are searching for headphones, they might want to know about. What's the customer service like? What's the best option for in-ear headphones? Testing, all sorts of things. So these are important in their subheadings, but lots and lots of pictures, and if you're noticing as well, lots and lots of links. And a lot of these are affiliate links, but they can get away with that because their article is enormous. I don't know how many words this is, but it's got to be well over 5,000. So overall, it's a very well-written article. The formatting's good. The subheadings H1 or H2 tags are there. But the final test, of course, is are they actually ranking for these keywords? So they're using the keyword in the URL, best headphones under 40. So that's, that's the specific keyword that they're targeting. And let's see where they're ranking in Google. So best headphones under 40. They rank number 1. But let's see where they're ranking for a lot of related keywords as well. How about best in-ear headphones? they are ranking here still on the first page. And for an even bigger keyword that they're not specifically targeting, best headphones, that particular article isn't ranking, but the Wirecutter is overall. This is one of their category pages that, of course, does have that article that we were just looking at on that page. So I just wanted to show you this example of an article that's doing great on-page SEO. You can take a look at the Wirecutter, and there's lots of other websites that you can look to as examples for good on-page SEO. Hopefully, overall, the tips that we've shared here can help you. I do know that if you implement these on-page factors, it's going to not only help you do a little bit better job than your competition, but can hopefully help you to rise in the ranks of Google and outrank your competitors as well. Thank you very much.